What is going on, everyone? My name is Boyd and I am back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Oranos. He's from the UCA clan. His name is Swissboy. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is HellsRavage. You might be guessing or asking yourself, what is this map? This map is Arctic Craters. But before we get into that, it's currently 2-2 in this best of 5 series, with the Popo speed driving past my house as loud as they possibly can. We'll just wait for them. They'll have their moment. That's okay. People are in need. This map, okay, well, before we get into the map, it's 2-2. That means both players have won 2 games each, and it's a best of 5, which means this is the decider, which means there's no games after it. Right? So whoever wins this game gets to go on to have the pleasure of scheduling against More Champion. I'm just kidding. More's been pretty good this tournament. The pleasure of playing More Champion here. Okay, enough about all of that stuff. The map is Arctic Craters. This is a super interesting map because the town centers, they have no resources close to them, right? Not only do they have no resources close to them, they're surrounded by this gigantic crater, right? Which if you haven't played the Age of games, every single Age of game does it a little bit differently. But basically, the idea is if you're at the top of this cliff and you're at the bottom of this cliff, you get a bonus multiplier on your projectiles. So, if you sit up here, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you sit up here with a Petropoli and you siege down, or a Ballista, and you siege down this town center, you're going to be doing tons of damage. Correct me if I'm wrong there. It might only be for like archer units or not, but I think it works the same for the siege as well. So these town centers can be very susceptible to siege attacks and to archers sitting just outside the range, because this town center is not going to be able to attack up here, because this, I think this is where the town center gets up to, right at the top where the terrain changes. Not only that, the map also comes with a nice little snowy thing coming through. If you've never noticed that, it's pretty cool. Apparently, Chrono JJ says I'm wrong and it's only archers, so whatever. It shouldn't be only archers because you got gravity coming into account, right? So you shoot the thing and it goes whee, and then it hits the top of the peak, and then it starts coming down, and then force equals mass times acceleration, and then boom, even more damage, right? Chauville says it's siege as well. Chrono JJ says it's not. Who to believe? We can have an argument about it later, but we got the temple coming up for HellsRavage. Apart from these craters, though, this map's going to play basically exactly the same as any other map. This is kind of like a tundra. It's got a lot of hunt. It's got the boar everywhere. It's got a bunch of caribou spawns. And we got the relics out. Armor of Achilles, that one's really, really good for Odin because he's going to be wanting to go for those Ulfsark. We've also got this boar here, and there's so many relics here. Bow of Artemis, pair of gold lions, Grungir, Odin's spear. Oh, that one's really good as well. Definitely want to pick that one up. You could actually make your Ulfsark almost as strong as Mermilla here with the Armor of Achilles and the Grungir Odin Spear. But Swissboy grabbing the Grungnir's Odin Spear. Potentially possible that Swissboy goes for the pure Mermillo strategy. No? Maybe. We saw it. We saw more executed against Mr. Boat, so some really good success there. We got some more. Got a monkey head over here, as well as a final one. Black Lotus. Ooh, there's some spicy relics here. Wouldn't be a bad idea to be massing those Hersa out and be grabbing those. But if we check out HellsRavage's perspective, he hasn't scouted very much. He only knows about the Bow of Artemis. Don't really care about that one as Odin. And yeah, that's going to be what it is. But that's fine. The military barracks coming down and counter barracks. And HellsRavage is going to be chucking down his own longhouse #1. He's going to get his houses up. He's going to get his longhouse #2. And we're going to start seeing those Ulfsark start spamming. Uses the Great Hunt on this top hunt here. I like that. This is something we've been seeing from Odin against Oranos. Normally, Oranos puts on the pressure early. But with Odin, because you're making Ulfsark, you have a 7 second, or 9 second, I should say. Is it 7 or 9? A 9 second build time, or train time, on those Ulfsark. So you can basically, in the early stages of the game, you have priority. So you're going to be able to hunt this for a really long time. These Promethean Offspring coming in, looking for some damage, but they're probably going to have to get out of here. Nice wall here from Hells. You can still run around this location and stop these, but then you can just run through the gate and be totally fine. And now we've got the Valkyrie moving in here. We've got this Oracle hero back in the base. Valor did come down, unfortunately. Looks like, oh no, fortunately I should say. Comes over here and gets these ones, gets the hero villager, and the Valkyrie is just going to get chased away by this Oracle hero. I think the Valkyrie wins this fight. I could be wrong about that, but maybe it's close. L's a little bit short on the resources currently. Maybe not quite enough villagers on food. I don't think you need 5 villagers on wood here. You can actually take 2 of these off and just put them all over onto food. I think I've been seeing people go too many villagers on wood, but he does need to get out Lone Wanderer, so that's probably why he's doing that. And also have to afford houses, obviously. Now we're seeing the Ulfsark run out. You have to be super careful with these though until you get Lone Wanderer. Just because they don't dodge arrow fire until they get it. And we saw something get out there. I'm not sure what it was. Doesn't tell me, that's sad. Oh, there's a Lone Wanderer. He has got it. Maybe he got it out of the temple or something, I don't know. And now these Ulfsark can start getting some heavy raids in the Valkyrie running through. HellsRavage to get 63 population to Swissboy's 70 population. So Swissboy's sneaking ahead on that population. That is to be expected. The Ulfs, as he's building Terma, but the Ulfsark are going to be chasing down these Terma nicely here. Another Longhouse coming down for HellsRavage. It's time to start thinking about adding in those throwing axemen into your army. So that you can deal with everything else, or maybe even some raiding cavalry so you can deal with those Carabalista that start coming up. The hero, Mo Miller, chasing this Valkyrie around, just going to be jabbing that one citizen who has to get into that manor there and then come back out as well. Now the Ulfs are going to be making their way in. We do see that the Oracle hero back in the, not Oracle hero, Oracle Scout I should say, from back in the base is going to get picked off. The hero Murmillo chilling here. The medium Ulfs are going to force that villager back into the manor, and we're just going to be running around the back of his base at this point, not doing anything but creating havoc, creating idle time. This citizen yet again coming back out, but the garrison range is really, really long. Nice forest fire here. That's really, really big because there's 2 manors here. And without this tree here, means that he has to delete one of these manors to be in a decent position to defend. So now Hell's going to start putting pressure over onto this wood here. And all the wood, as we can see, is outside of your crater. So you have to basically come very far away to gather from that. We're seeing a little bit of a fight over here. We do have a couple of Hersera in here all ready to deal with those Promethean offspring, but the Ulfs are going to be here as well. What's he doing with this extra longhouse? Looks like Hells is only building from 2 still, so maybe you didn't need to build that 3rd longhouse. Again, maybe just too many villagers on wood here. After you get Lone Wanderer, you can take them out. Moving in, I don't like Hells. I guess it's fine. He's not taking any damage, so it's fine. But he's just keep on scaring me by running in and then getting picked off or something. Seeing some nice attacks on the back group of units here from, or the 4 group of Swissboy's units, the back group of HellsRavage's units. Now we've got the army all nice and cozy here for Swissboy. He's got a really strong army, 95 population. HellsRavage is also on that similar population. Now he's starting to build out those throwing axemen to deal with the Momillo. Really, really important to get those ones coming. He's not building any more Herser though, so it could be time for the Promethean of Swissboy to start coming out, but just not doing that one just yet. It feels like he doesn't need to. He's got so many of these medium Momillo. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to stop training Ulfsark for just a little bit, so you can get out a decent amount of those throwing axemen. Now this Herso is slowing down this Ulfsark army. You need to be dealing with that one there. We're seeing these units move in, but now the villagers can just move back, and I love this because this is the kind of the time in the game where Oranos can start really putting pressure onto the Odin player. But it looks like we didn't talk about this, but the gold mines is a double gold mine spawn here. So Hells doesn't even have to worry about that second gold mine. Nice ghost build there. Does delete it straight away afterwards. But the army of Swissboy going to be getting out of here. And I think Hells is going to try and get us around over here. You've got to be super careful not to fight this until this army comes in. Pull the units in. Come around the back. Oh, this is going to be huge right now for HellsRavage. He's got a gigantic surround. He's got the villagers moving forward. Maybe even going to be able to have them start fighting. He needs to get an ox cart over. Oh, he's got an idle ox cart here. He needs to send that one forward. The villagers are moving onto this ball here, which is going to be really, really important. He needs that extra hunt to continue here. And with that gigantic win of that fight, then it's going to be really good for him. Hell's now sitting at 115 to Swissboy's 101. We don't have a town center coming up just yet for Swissboy. The army of HellsRavage looking to come onto this this hunt patch here. We've got the army of Swissboy chasing him down. This is going to be the fight for the game right here. If Swissboy can defend here, he should be really, really good to continue. If he can't, he's probably obviously going to lose if he loses this fight. But if he wins this fight, he can continue, grab that second town center, third town center, do these standard Oranos things. But Hells is not going to just let him win this fight. He's got a lot of units. It's kind of overproduced on military, which is sort of what you'd be doing with the Odin here. Nice micro. We've got the Raven in here to distract some of those Termifiers there. A little bit of overkill on the Terma on the Raven there as well from the Terma. But now the army of HellsRavage coming in. We've got the Caraballister in the back to do a lot of damage to these Ulfsar. But right now it's going to be really difficult for him. The Valkyrie coming in onto this back Caraballister. The villagers coming off their ball. There's no ball left here for him to gather. And these citizens are going to have to get out here. They can just retreat back onto these goats though. So he does have goats, but he doesn't have army. Swissboy 85 population. HellsRavage 115. So every single unit that's been fallen for HellsRavage at this point has been instantly reproduced, and Hells is just doing really, really well here. Got the Ford Armory coming up. You can get out Chainmail if he so chooses. You can go to the next age. Definitely want to get an eye onto that gold mine and this gold mine over here. If we check out Swissboy, he's kind of got too much gold in the back. I think he over gathered gold there, and he's taking villagers off this gold mine. We can probably see Hell start putting pressure onto this gold mine here, putting pressure onto this wood, and cutting off wood, which is kind of not okay for Swissboy right now, because he's producing those he was producing Caraballister, but he's got only these straggler trees left to build farms, and then he's not going to have any resources, and Hells is just going to be pushing off or cutting off resources really, really well right now. Moving in, taking out this stuff, looking to go onto this sentry tower as well, cutting off wood everywhere. Where's the army gone? What are you doing with these units here? HellsRavage going through Skadi, not going through Njord? I mean, it doesn't really matter. Skadi's really strong, Njord's really strong. Everybody just like blindly picks Skadi, but Njord, get those walking woods, get the mountain giant coming in just to finish the game off. And go really, really well. Throwing away some units, you hate to see it, but they should be able to get out of here without losing too much more hit points and then re-get those. Now, Hells feels like he's done the damage he wanted to do. He's going to be going for town centers here. He can just sit back and play it boring, play it safe, go 3 town centers here, 4 town centers if he so chooses, and just spam villages and then go for a Ragnarok win here. There is a nice back gold mine for Swissboy, but it's really hard to defend, especially if you just send a bunch of units there. Nice little fight here for Swissboy, going to be taking out the rest of this army here. This Valkyrie is probably going to get another kill onto this Murmillo and then fall to this last Murmillo. Oh no, looks like Swissboy is going to be retreating out of there, saving that last Murmillo, but not killing the Valkyrie. And there is the heroic age, I should say, for Hells. He's probably going to start throwing something down. Maybe a hill fort somewhere or third town center. We are seeing this gold mine starting to get gathered from here. I don't think Hells knows about it. There's a huge army though here from Swissboy, kind of giving it away. Well, nice raid onto this villager over here. Oh, there's a couple of villagers here. This is really, really big if you can pick any of these off. He could frost this army and then sit and kill off these villagers as well. Going to be picking off most of these citizens here. Moving in, we've got a huge fight coming in. Does Hells have medium or heavy infantry coming out? He does. It's only 50% though, so it's not going to be up for this fight. Most of these units are going to be falling. And Hells is kind of short on resources at the moment. He's still hunting though, so he's completely fine. And here is the Heroic Age from Swissboy. He's through Thea, going to start pumping out those Stymphalian birds to move in to deal with the Frost Giant that's coming here. But looks so far like Swissboy's defending nicely, but he's not going to kill the Promethean. All right, but we do have. Heavy infantry is up now for Hell, so these units are really strong. We've also got Axe of Muspel for the throwing axemen as well. And now the issue for Hells is going to be gold mines. It's kind of a risky thing for him at this point. It's risky for him because he can't lose any fights, otherwise he just loses his gold, and he's got no gold in the bank right now. We are seeing that he's going to have to deal with the Stymphalian birds. He does have obviously Axe of Muspel, which gives him a pretty big buff against those Stymphalian birds, but Swissboy going to be moving in, trying to take down this town center, doing nice things to the town center at this point. But the Dryad here as well. Swissboy, the big issue right now for Swissboy though is he's only on one town center. And if we've learned anything from past games or past games of glory and stuff, it's that town centers win games, and you need that economy. But we are seeing a nice raid from Swissboy. He sees this. He's got the scouting onto this location here, and the Murmillo are moving in, and Hells is not paying attention to this at all. These Murmillo are coming in. A couple of those dwarves are running away, but the rest of these are going to be really hurting. And finally, the dwarves are going to be getting out of here. He's probably going to lose a couple of them, but it shouldn't hurt him too much. Given he's on 2 town centers, he's got a little bit of the advantage there. The big issue right now is these Frost Giants. They're so huge. Having this many Frost Giants, you still have Frost to use. Looks like he's going for this second town center finally. So that's going to help him out, but he needs to get it up. And we're seeing the heavy infantry is out for Swissboy now. And Hells is like not happy about this. He wants to move in. He wants to stop this nonsense going on. Or make sure you focus down these Stymphalian birds. Yes, get those throwing axemen to take them down. You're going to be doing so really fast. You can see them die super quickly there. And this other Stymphalian bird should die. And here's the thing that people don't realize about Frost that's really good. They might have 99% armor, but they still take damage, and they take damage. Every single attack you do is 1 damage. So these Ulfsark, they attack a little bit faster than like normal units, so they still the most damage against these things. And you take no damage yourself, so you just lose out on a lot of HP, and then you defrost and you kind of idle for a little bit, take a couple of hits when you're not at 99% armor, and that's that. We're seeing the Murmillo trying to take out all of this junk in the back here. These Murmillo should be dealt with though, and Hells, he's struggling for the gold at the moment, but he should be able to win this fight here. We're checking out Swissboy's perspective. He's at 71 pop. Hells at 125. And he's doing good at this point. He's going to be able to start gathering from this gold mine. Just needs to get out another ox cart over there, and he should be fine. He's got some boar here he can gather from. Still does not have to transition onto the farms. Swissboy, on the other hand, he's still not gone for this gold mine, which is a little bit odd. We see some raids in the back. Now the oops. I clicked on play fast. I don't know. It looks like Swissboy was just gonna resign anyways, because he felt like he was behind, but he just couldn't get this gold mine. He couldn't get this gold mine. I'm so sorry about that. That just like zoomed. It just went whoop. Poor Swissboy. Oh man. Well, unfortunately, that's how this one ends. It just looks like the gold star was too much for Swissboy, sitting at 79 gold, 71 pop to HellsRavage's 130 pop. And the army of HellsRavage is just too powerful here. He's controlling the map really nicely. Has 2 town centers, stopped the second town center for Swissboy. Swissboy couldn't even get to the Mythic Age or anything like that off his 1 town center here. And I think this map, it all kind of came down to this forest fire. This was the best tree that Swissboy had, and he just had too many manors on this location here. He should have had a manor on a different wood line just so he could protect his villagers. Once this forest fire came down, it would have been worthwhile to just delete this mana, put it up over on this side, and then at least he would have been able to survive there. But Hells goes up 3-2, takes this series, gets to go on and play more in Champion in this next round, the round of 16. Yeah, super well played there by Hells. Definitely showing his experience in this game. I love that he picked Odin here against the Oranos. Realized it was a very open map and that was very easy to wood starve, which is really important. I think if Swissboy had been a little bit more, had done a little bit more research on this map, he may have gone for the double military barracks instead of the military barracks counter barracks build, just because you don't need the wood, right? And you're not going to get pushed off it because you just put one house on one wood with one villager on that wood and you're totally fine. Not going to get pushed off it ever, and you just build the Murmillo and you kind of do that style that way. But alas, HellsRavage takes the game, takes the series, goes on. Thanks for hanging out with me, all you guys. We'll continue with some more quality content in the coming days, but for now, I'm gonna play some Age of Mythology.